So let's walk and talk. This is the first video in a multiple part video series on bits. We're going to talk about theory. We're going to talk about some misunderstandings, two types of bits, and then we're going to go into the barn. We're already in a barn. Hey, this is easy. And I'm going to show you how I would fit all these bits, different adjustments you can make to fit that have a little bit different results. We're going to talk about their mechanics, and it's going to be fun. First, we obviously have to have some whiskey. Beside me is the whiskey for this video. We're in Traverse City, so Traverse City Whiskey Company, and this is also the cherry capital of the world. So this is the American Cherry Edition. America, fuck yeah! 35% alcohol, and it is bourbon whiskey infused with Traverse City cherries and natural flavor. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I am not the biggest fan of flavored whiskeys. Crown Royal Apple, gives me, goosebumps thinking about. Some people love them, and that's great. It's just never my thing. But this is a small craft distillery in an area that grows a lot of cherries. So I have high hopes for this. Again, the right cup. Okay, obviously it smells like whiskey, but there's definitely cherries on the nose. I was expecting it to be a bit more like cherry medicine, which like cherry cough syrup, and I was not excited about that. But this is not so bad. It's right on the line. This might actually be all right. If you like cherries, this is really not that bad. It does, in the beginning of the palate, taste a bit more cough syrupy cherry than the fruit cherry. But that does dissipate into a nice cherry flavor. The whiskey tastes a little bit mashy, which to me means that they used a bit of younger whiskey, which I kind of assume in a flavored whiskey, you're generally not going to use your super old stuff. Honestly, that's one of the best flavored whiskeys I've had. And I think you could get quite creative with cocktails with it. Or just drink it over ice. That'd be really fun. Definitely cherry. It does linger in your palate nicely, and doesn't taste so much like cough syrup when it lingers. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Before we show bits, talk about bit types, fit bits, do all that sort of thing, I think we need to talk about some concepts, dispel some misunderstandings, and get on the same page. All right, so now let's talk about bits. First video, we're going to talk about more conceptual things, and then I want to show you in person mechanically how each bit works when you pull on the rein, or the reins in some cases, what is happening. I will also fit and show you how I fit different bits. It's hard to talk about when to use what bit when, because that is a very personal thing. Some bits that I hate and never have a good feeling with win gold medals all the time. That's not because I am wrong. It's just because that's not the bit that I can use. But before we get into the future parts of each bit, their mechanics, there are some things we need to talk about bits. Because bits are a heated topic that people have some very strong opinions about, a lot of which I think are unfounded. But it makes sense for us to talk about. So let's do that. So big problem that happens is people get blindly committed to a certain bit. I'll use an example. There is a large group of people where the only bit you should use and the only right bit is a loose ring snaffle. Every other bit is wrong and potentially abusive too, as for their feelings. That's wrong. unlike just everything. Because what I don't like about this, not specifically loose ring heel, but anyone who believes there's only one right bit, is you then see people trying to use that bit and struggling and doing everything they can to use this bit and struggling. And when you say it is the bit, that takes away blame from the user. I don't believe there is a bad bit. There are a lot of bad users. Now I know, wait, before you get up in uproar, I would say that some bits, their only place is in a drawer or hung on a wall and not used. But the bit is not wrong on its own. It is a hunk of steel or copper or brass or whatever the freak the bit's made of. What is wrong is the user, and the whole conversation around bits being wrong just abdicates blame from the idiot holding the reins. What I care about more is the idiot holding the reins. My goal is always to use the lightest bit possible, but to get there is a journey. And if I have to use a stronger bit, which then makes the horse lighter in my hand, and then I can teach the horse to be lighter on a less strong bit, that is better than using a less strong bit and having the horse be super heavy in my hand and never learn to be light. It makes no sense. So if you have a strong bit and the horse is pulling 5 pounds per hand, why is that worse than a softer bit where you got 30 pounds per hand? It is unfathomably dumb. You can misuse a hollow loose ring snaffle. You can misuse any bit. You can misuse a bitless bit. Every bit can be misused. It's the rider and the person who chose that bit. And I don't like the conversation where people blame the bit or the rider. That is wrong. One of the next biggest misunderstandings about bits is what's right for me with this horse that I'm on. It's not at all necessarily right for you. You're a different rider. Even on the same horse, you might be taller, you might be shorter. You have a different feel no matter what. You have a different feel. And that necessitates different equipment. There is no one right bit for the rider or for the horse. So if anyone ever tells you that this horse can only go in this bit, they're wrong. So with a lot of my, with my grooms, when they ride and whatnot, it's never required for them to use the same bit that I use. We always talk, if they don't like the feel, we change it. And it should be the same with you. The most important thing for this video and the bit videos to follow is I need you to remember this and live this. A bit is only a translator. It translates the horse, part of the horse, to the rider, and it translates the rider's hands and what's connected to the rider's hands to the horse's mouth. Or if you're using a hackamore, the nose. It is only a translator. It does not create language. And that's important to understand, because if you expect the bit to take hands that do this to feel like this to the horse, it won't do that. This is not a language that can be translated. It's not a language. What you do has to be a language, and then you can find a bit to translate that to the horse, and most importantly, translate the horse to you so you understand what the horse is telling you. The bit does not create. It only translates. And in the future, we'll do another video on reins, because that's another topic that needs more explaining. But remember, a bit doesn't change who you are. Well, how you approach your horse does not create language. It only translates who you are to the horse. Doesn't change.